I don't memorize my lines, and that probably will drive a bunch of people crazy. I'm about to board a plane to London, and they do this weird thing where they start to board us, and then they stop literally right at the entrance of the plane. And I find myself awkwardly standing next to Mickey Rourke. They're living their own life. I don't want to be that jerk. But I said, hey, Mick, at the risk of showing a bit of cheek, I actually got some of the best acting advice from you, and you don't even know it. And he looked up at me and was like, that true? I'm like, yeah. A girl that I was dating many years ago was a PA, a production assistant on this movie, Tony Scott movie called Domino. And they had taken over the Rio, and the penthouse suite was Mickey Rourke's. They had just changed the script. They were coming in with hot pages that day. And so she was running up to his room, and she knocked on his door to give the pages, and he opens the door and he's just standing there in a robe. He's like, what? And she goes, Mickey, I'm sorry, but we've got some fresh pages for today. And he snatches the pages and closes the door. And as the door closes, he just so casually says, dialogue is the last thing that I worry about, because if I understand the character and it's written well, the words should fall out of my lips. And I took that to heart, because I realized I could sit there and my normal thinking would be, all right, I need to learn my lines and rehearse my lines. And what I realized for me is that what I'm not doing is I'm not working on who the character is, not understanding where they're at in the story. And so it would drive actors crazy, because they want to run lines. I'm like, I don't know my lines. I don't know what's going on. But I do know that if I understand this character, and if you say something to me, my response should be natural. The writer and I should be lined up, because either he knows something that I don't, or she knows something that I don't, or I know something that they don't. And there have been conversations where before I would come into Neil and go, I think this line should change. And he finally was like, instead, why don't you let your first response be, what about this scene or this character or this story do I not understand? And the amount of lines that I ended up changing diminished drastically once I started approaching a character that way. It's still so hard for me to I'm such a hard critic of my own work. I always feel like I've got one better take in me. If I'm directing, I always tell actors, I was like, my main goal is for you not to say that my best take was on the 405, meaning my best take was on the way home. But I will say this, that I'll never drop a line. I may learn it on the day or even the moment before, but it's in and it's out. It flows through me, it doesn't stay in me. And for me, that has worked. I don't want to hang on to these moments. I want to experience them fully, and then they're gone. So when somebody walks up to me at a convention or whatever and goes, this line meant so much to me, I'm like, that's the one that meant so much to you. It didn't mean that much to me, but I'm so grateful that it means that to you. Now can I tell you which line means the most to me?